Hey everyone, I'm Egoqueenalexis and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at Hammer and Anvil, the newest of and only Warhammer Plus animation that just came out. I did have to scour the internet to find it. Unfortunately, I did actually just go through Games Workshop to get it. So that was the thing. So this is going to be a review / reaction to it. So if you're looking for the entire video and just in one go, that's not what this is. This is going to be me taking a look at the scenes, pausing it, talking about everything in the scenes, and moving on to the next part. So let's go ahead and grab my handy dandy headphones. There we go. Let me fix my hair first. Put all that hair tucked behind my ears so I can actually hear things. So, we are going to dive right into this. Now, this is all about Commissar Yarrick. Now, there's a few little known facts about Commissar Yarrick. One is that he's a canonically gay character, which is amazing. And he's a great representation of LGBT characters in fiction because it is not part of his personality to be an LGBT character. He just happens to be one. And he is an absolute badass. Like, get a chance, read his books, check out his audiobooks. They're all amazing. So let's dive right into this and check this out. Boop. There we go. Warhammer Plus. Subscribe unless you're a smooth brain. Okay. Just gonna skip ahead a little bit. Okay, music's a bit but alright. Success is measured in blood, yours and your opponent's. Hey, we finally have where that quote is from. Alright, so right off the bat it looks like a comic book. Could dig that. Looks like the old Spawn animation. It's this old Spawn animations. That's amazing. It's an animated comic book. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, that's adorable. Look at the little squigs. Squigs have always reminded me of that thing from Oddworld, if you ever get a chance to see it. The little parasites. We got like an orc fortress. This looks like Armageddon.
Slippery little sucker. It's an ear, ain't he? I've nearly got him. Grab him, Ruff. Grab him.
What the hell is going on?
Hang on. I gotcha. Ow! Little sucker bit me. Oh, cut him.
No, please, don't eat me.
Okay. The animation is okay. It looks undone. Okay, we got a... So this guy right here is a runt herd, and we got some boys.
What the sog is you two doing to me best grot?
Boss, they was gonna eat me.
That's so. We was just...
Okay, one good fight. He's got a cybernetic leg. Oh, so that's how they use that.
Even think about it. Pathetic. Really pathetic.
It seems unorky. Like, this seems a little bit fan animation-ish. Like, fan fiction than orcs.
Sog me. This won't do. This won't do.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You youths ain't ever gonna be proper boys with fighting the likes of Gibbet here.
Ow!
Also, orcs can't grow hair. Wait, this actually bugs me quite a bit. So orcs canonically cannot grow facial hair. They simply can't. Orcs are bald. The reason that orcs have hair is actually because of hair squigs. That's the reason that they have the top knot. It's actually a parasitic squig that attaches itself to the top of their head and sucks out their blood. And it's a parasitic squig. And that's where their hair comes from. Now, it could just be thousands of parasitic squigs eating his face, and that's what gives him the beard, but that kind of bugs me a little bit. Also, his eyes aren't red enough.
Proper orcs have proper enemies. You need to get big and strong. Orcs get big and strong by beating the best, not by fighting grots, even if you is gonna eat them.
Enemies like what, boss?
Like beakies. Well,
Beakies.
yeah,
Space
beakies
Marines.
is well hard, but I ain't talking about beaky tin boys. Oh,
So Beakies and Tin Boys are the Space Marines in AdMech.
Pointies, then.
Eldar.
they is weak, but they is fast and well stabby. I ain't talking about them either. You want a proper enemy, like what the Prophet himself has got. Listen here, youths. We Runters have all the stories. I'm gonna tell you about Ghazghkull. I'm gonna tell you about old Baylai.
Bainai being Yarrick.
Yeah, that's right. Baylai.
So this artwork right here comes from the first edition, or WOG Orcs, which was their first or second edition codex. And that glyph right there, right next to me, is actually Yarrick. And they have a glyph for Yarrick. They respect Yarrick so much they have a hieroglyph for him. Now, quick little thing, rundown about Runters. They are smart orcs. They are typically one of the smartest of orcs, and they're considered not weird boys, but like, there's a name for them, and I cannot remember it right off the top of my head right this second. Oh my god. They're not brain boys, because that's an old dead race. They're specialists, but it's spelled completely weird for orcs. But they're considered one of the smarter of the orc species. Similar to mechs and weird boys, they have an innate understanding of the species better than most orcs, and their average intelligence and memory is a lot better than the average orc.
The meanest orc killer of them all. That's him, dead. You me? Nah. Not just a Yumi. Yarrick. Old Baylai.
Yep,
The
that's...
greatest.
Actually, that is how you spell his name. So, funny enough, in high school I learned the orc alphabet, and I even learned the Tau alphabet from the 3rd and 4th edition books, respectively. And you could write notes and everything in it. And it's really, really, really funny.
Foe of the great Ghazghkull Maguruk.
Wow, they actually used his full name and his old model.
The beast of Armageddon. The conqueror of Messina, Golgotha,
Yep.
and lots of other places besides. The great-
I love that it's a lot of other places besides, because once they get past 3, orcs use the word
Big
lots.
3, the goppiest gop, the stabbiest stabber, the fightiest, hardest warlord, what was ever been ever, and that is a very long time. And don't you forget it.
Why does Ghazghkull need some teeth?
Only if you become a warlord like him can you get an enemy as good as old Baylai. He's got an eye that'll burn a hole in you. A claw that'll rip you in half. Though he's a skinny runt, he carries a gun what is so big and so heavy, only his beakies have it. Why, I reckon you couldn't carry it this way.
Stormbolter.
But he waves it around like an itty-bitty squig. And he rides a battle wagon so big and so shooty, 100 flash kids couldn't take it down. Cool.
So let's talk about the Fortress of Arrogance making an appearance. The Fortress of Arrogance is actually like the greatest name for an Imperial vehicle ever. Let's put that out there. 100% greatest name ever. The Fortress of Arrogance was actually captured on Armageddon, and Yarrick, in an act of desperation, sent multiple companies to go and retrieve it, de-orcify it, and then bring it right back out to the battlefield during the Battle of Armageddon and used against Ghazghkull. The Fortress of Arrogance is a standard Baneblade chassis with twin heavy bolters, side-mounted sponsons, and las cannons. Just 2 of them, not 4. It has a hull-mounted demolisher cannon and heavy bolter. It has a turret-mounted Armageddon pattern Baneblade cannon with a coaxial. I'm trying to do this all from memory. A coaxial auto cannon, and it has a heavy stubber on top. It has a transport capacity of 1 model. This model used to exist, and I used to play it when I played Guard competitively. In fact, the Baneblade that I have is the Fortress of Arrogance, but then I retrofitted it to be more in line with my Space Marine / Imperial armies.
Hang on. That comes later. You see, even without all that, he's well fierce.
Oh, the Armageddon Steel Legion looks so cool. Like, this is something I will never understand about the 40k fan base. They love the Deathcore Krieg, but yet everything they attribute to the Deathcore Krieg is actually the Armageddon Steel Legion. And it really bugs me. Also, we have the Mortress Fortress Walls. We have quad, oh my god, what are these weapons called? They're not interceptor cannons, but essentially they are. They're quad auto cannons meant for taking down aircrafts. And then we have one of the greatest hive cities ever. This battle actually takes place during Yarrick's first book. And in fact, this is actually where we canonically find out that Yarrick is actually gay, is because he tells his Vox operator, as the 2 Gargants are coming towards him, that he'd like to send a message to his husband, because he believes he's about to die. Up top, it looks like we have... Those are Thunderbolt fighters. This one right here, which I don't think you can see my mouse when I do this, but this one right here, that is an Aquila Lander, and the one that just passed was a... it appeared to be not a Thunderbolt, a Voss pattern interceptor. Shock attack gun. And yes, shock attack guns absorb people. Commandos. That's interesting. Knobs, killicans. Ooh, that's actually really cool. They talk about the orc artillery guns. Flash Gits. Burnaboys. And that was a big mech with a custom teleporter. Or a teleporter blaster. Good voice acting for that. And yes, those flak guns would fire that fast.
Before Yarrick stops him. So he sends in one of his best and baddest war bosses to sort the old man right out.
Okay.
Ghazghkull was the biggest, toughest, meanest snakebite in all the hall.
They got the sound effect for the lasgun wrong. So the sound effect that is with a lasgun, the proper sound effect is actually a crack of thunder. And it's very well documented. So that little sound effect, that was terrible. I think they could have done that sound effect a little bit better. Again, they have this weird thing of giving orcs hair. What's up with that? Like, that's a mohawk, and that's the second orc we've seen with a mohawk. And this is where Yarrick gets his power claw.
It's gonna be too easy.
Now, let's talk about this story really quickly, and I know I'm interrupting like crazy, but Yarrick gets his arm chopped off in this battle and has the power claw sieged from this war boss. But originally, it's just a knob. Like, it's not a war boss. Yarrick gets his power claw in the original codexes from a knob. Now, there's 2 stories to this, and both get mixed up in the lore quite a bit. Yarrick's original power claw was a power pincer, and it was made to look like an orc claw. But his later model would actually have the orc claw with a retcon story that he took the power claw but had it sanctified by the Mechanicus adepts with him. Interesting thing, power claws are not power weapons. Weirdly enough, they don't have a power field. Yeah.
When is you humans gonna learn? This world is green!
Okay, I can dig that. That's actually pretty badass. Interesting things about orcs getting their head chopped off. Their head can live for almost a week detached from their body, which means a Gretchen can come running along, grab that head, attach it to a new body, and bring it back to life. I'm not kidding, that's what happened in Saga of the Beast. It's also what happened in the Psychic Awakening Beast Arises series, which I might have mixed those names around, but please forgive me, I'm doing this off of memory. When Ghazghkull knew that, what is his name? Orc the Slayer was coming after him, Ghazghkull got a vision from Gorkamork and was told, hey, you're essentially going to die in this battle, but that's what needs to happen because the Humies don't properly understand legends and psychic abilities, where Ghazghkull does, and he understands prophecies very well. So he let Orc the Slayer kill him, only for him to come back to life and beat the Space Wolves in the conflict. Now, the original story is that Yarrick cuts his arm off first, then goes and gets the power claw.
Like for like. Which part are you willing to give me?
Now, as silly as that part was, orcs' morale is heavily based on their leadership. If their leadership is destroyed in front of them, they will panic and they will run. So this is canon. That is, yeah.
Baelai is so tough that he takes Ugelhard's claw as his own. You mean Mick Boys fixed it up good? Then Baelai hears orcs is scared of him, and that they is saying he can kill with a single look. So he gets a shooty eye put in and all.
So that story is he actually gets the eye shot first. Yarrick goes into battle against them a lot.
Ghazghkull comes to take away the Humie huts.
Oh my god, Ghazghkull's battle fortress is always amazing looking. Oh, and this is new. We got Defcopters, the shock jump dragster was there. Let's see what else we got. We got 2 battle wagons next to him with the Goth Rockers on it. That's amazing. I love the Mad Max inspiration here. I love the orc bike here, the war bike. We got the Flakadaka jets above. The shock jump dragster actually did his shock jump.
Beats them back every time.
Egoqueenalexis loses this battle.
Shows up and spoils all the fun.
Good old Blood Angel Tactical Marines.
And that was that.
A Dreadnought. That Dreadnought is armed with an assault cannon, more than likely a Stormbolter. And these are just multiple Tactical Marines.
Old Ghazghkull has enough, so he goes away. But Baelai won't give up. No, not him. So he chases the Prophet across the sky to a place the Humies call Golgotha. There, Baelai thinks he has Ghazghkull.
Lots of Humies.
Only
Not many
that ain't
orcs.
it, because Ghazghkull is as cunning as he is.
Even more orcs. Alright, that's pretty good.
It's a trap,
Yarrick does fall for these quite often. And then he does get tortured by Ghazghkull.
So tough after all. Is you.
Interesting fact about Ghazghkull. Ghazghkull understands all of the human languages. All of them. His most prominent is Low Gothic, but he also knows High Gothic as well. Because reasons.
Chuck him in with the rest of the Umies.
Okay, so what do we got in there? We got another... we got a couple of slaver orcs. Interesting thing about orcs, they take prisoners. And they will beat the ever-living piss out of you. They will do horrific things to you. But out of all the races to get enslaved by, they're probably the kindest in 40k. And that is not saying a lot at all. But that's a thing.
He was given to us Runders, and you knows how mean we can be. And did that finish him? Did it, Zog? It weren't long until he was up to his usual tricks.
It's not hard to trick orcs. You could literally trick them by shouting over there. Now, while orcs are extremely strong and tough, humans can bring them down. It's one of the more common misconceptions about orcs is that they require Space Marines to beat. No, the Astra Militarum is famous for killing orcs. In fact, they have entire regiments dedicated strictly to it.
He fights his way up to the Space Hulk's boss hole.
Now, technically, what he's doing is considered heretic. He is using an heresy. He is using the enemy's weapons against them. Now, if there were like zealots with them that were Puritan and everything, he might face some repercussions for his actions. But since he is a commissar and can issue these orders, including orders that defy most imperial laws, so long as he justifies it being part of the commissariat, it's actually deemed okay.
Ghazghkull ain't there, but Yarrick kills all the orcs he finds.
So, interesting thing about this type of weapon that the orcs have, that is considered a slugger to the orcs. But the most common weapon it's associated with is the Enforcer Auto Pistol. And it's actually a pretty efficient weapon. And knowing what the ammunition types here could be, given that the hole is so big, it's more than likely man-stopper ammunition, which is similar to a bolt that it explodes inside the target, but it's much smaller. And it's not a guided rocket.
And one eye.
He isn't here, Commissar.
Destroy it. Destroy everything you can.
Also, Yarrick is another commissar that does not like to kill his own men. Just an interesting little side note.
They're coming!
Oh! Yeah, that's about right for orcs shooting.
For the Emperor.
Yep.
For the Emperor. They say that a lot. So, what? Is Baelai dead then? Dead? Dead? Old Baelai? Nah. It takes a lot more than a cunning ambush, a good whipping, a battle, and a big explosion to kill him off.
I hate that that's an accurate description.
Oh, no. He lived all right.
Grot's reattaching his stuff.
You, mate. The boss wants to see you.
And yes, this actually does happen. Not exactly as that, but it's kind of cool to get that little tidbit of the story brought in, and I like that. But I like that Gratz reattaches stuff for him. That's actually really, really, really cool in my opinion. But the meeting between Yarrick and Ghazghkull is actually phenomenal, and if you get the audiobook for it, it's absolutely crazy. But Yarrick and Ghazghkull do meet on the battlefield multiple times. Okay, so talking about the different tones of the skin tones that the orcs have, typically the darker green they are, the older they are. But just like humans having different ethnicities and everything like that, orcs would also have that within their species. Harvest Lighter, my favorite aircraft.
What kind of trick is this?
No trick. Good enemies is hard to find.
That's true. That is 100%
So
true.
off he goes, straight back to Golgotha, and he takes it right back with some big cannon thing. And then we takes it back.
Zagov.
And we all thought that was that. The years go by, and old Balai becomes even older Balai. Meanwhile, Ghazghkull Mag Uruk Thraka chases his dream of the big war across the stars, following the voices in the Great Green. Gorg and Morg, the gods, they tell him what to do. And all the time, his power grows and grows. Until one day, he comes back.
Yep. Hey, I use that sound effect to scare me during horror games and streams. Okay. Alright. A bit dramatic, but I like it. Oh my god, I love that he keeps all of his stuff just there. Also, it's interesting to note that his cybernetic eye is actually attachable versus the one that's built into the skull. So it means it's not feeding him any information directly to his skull, directly to his brain.
Teleports a bunch of boys onto the planet. And he drops massive rocks onto the surface, so we Orcses can have some forts.
Right on top of his own forces.
Impregnable, unbeatable, but not to old Balai.
It's the Armageddon sector. Mortars, rockets. Ooh, Tempestus Scions. Ha! Oh, cool! Those are not ratlings. What are they called? I think they are ratling snipers. They're an half-human species. Storm boys. Stay mighty bold. Can't aim for crap. Tempestus Scions with their Hell guns.
Aim! Fire!
Multiple missile launchers.
Charge! So, if you youths want to get big and be proper orcs with a proper enemy, You have to go and pick on something a bit meaner than little Gibbet here.
Why should we listen to you? You is old and stumpy with that leg.
Yeah, that leg.
I bet you's got no proper enemies like that.
You want to make an enemy out of me?
He is the biggest one, so he's in
So
charge.
not. I'll let you into a secret. Old Baelai is my enemy too. How do you think I got this here?
I like that he sets his Stormbolter to a single fire. Just breaks it, tears his leg.
When he comes in, all shouting and shooting, his eye blazing. I fought him, and I lived. So don't you ever tell me I ain't got no proper enemies.
That is a proper enemy.
He fought old Baelai.
He fought old Baelai. That's right. Boo.
Thanks, boss.
You're all right, Gibbet, for a grot. But if you ever let anyone eat you, I'll kill you myself.
Where is he now?
What?
Oh, Baelai. Where is he?
Grots be smart.
Him? In the big black, right now, looking for Ghazghkull. And when he finds him... Oh, when he finds him... What a scrap that is gonna be!
Okay, okay. So the canonical ending of that is that... Alright, let's get a cool image. There we go. The canonical ending of the War of Armageddon is that the Imperials lose. The planet is infected by demons and orcs, and it's a constant warfare, and Ghazghkull ultimately does win. He teleports away following the what his gods tell him. Yarrick chases him, but unfortunately... Oh, and actually destroys most of his forces. Let's not put that out of there. It's Yarrick, his Armageddon Steel Legion, the Acadians, and Black Templar are destroying his fleets and everything. There's several others there, but those are the prominent ones. And right at the end, as Ghazghkull's actually losing, he teleports away one more time with a great explosion that disables most of the Imperial fleet from chasing him. Teleports across the entirety of the Imperium to another sector. Fights another war boss. I cannot remember the war boss's name, but it's a big important one from previous editions. It's the one with the plasma cannon. Fights him, defeats him, takes his Wa for his own, uses it against the Space Wolves, beats the Space Wolves, attacks a bunch of not Blackstone fortresses, attacks a bunch of Watch fortresses of the Death Watch, steals a bunch of artifacts, and then uses them to attack, and is now heading back towards Armageddon. So we don't know where his current whereabouts are, but we do know that Yarrick is still alive and still after him. I have my own theories about Yarrick. I believe Yarrick to be a perpetual, or at least an artificial perpetual, or he is going through a lot of rejuve treatments to keep him as old looking as he is while maintaining his combat abilities. So yeah. My apologies, I just woke up. Let's talk about this. Was it good? Yes. It was an animated webcomic, not really an animation, but it still follows under animation. The voice acting was pretty decent. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The sound effects could use a little bit of work, actually a lot of work. A lot of them were just way off. I felt like the cannon should have had more of a base to it so that it actually, you felt it when it exploded. And overall, I feel like there was a couple of missed opportunities with making weapons sound the way that they're supposed to. The bolt gun did, the bolt gun did sound correct. His Stormbolter sounded correct. And his power weapon sounded correct. But none of the las guns nor cannons sounded impactful, if you get it. Overall, I did enjoy it. I'd give it a solid, like, final score. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely worth watching, but it has some faults. I look forward to the next episode, and I can't wait to see where this series goes. If it's just a one-shot series, it'll be really cool. I hope Hammer and Bolters actually talks about various characters throughout 40k. I think that would be the better version of it. But if they continue with Ghazghkull's and Yarrick's story, I would love to see that as well. My throat is really dry. Anyway, I can speak. I did enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, comment in the comment section down below. Let me hear your thoughts on all of this. As always, I really can't breathe. But as always, I'm Egoqueenalexis. I love you guys. Bye.